This chapter is called All in Favor. Life outside of the home centered around the church. Because our church is a lay church, its members become involved early in life in various activities. I was 13 years old when my name was first read in sacrament meeting for a sustaining vote of the congregation to be secretary of the primary. The first day I was to act, Aunt Lucy asked me if I could make a nice straight lines in the book, and I told her I could. And I felt a little bit pulled upon because they would even question it, and I felt like she would be littling me a little bit, and didn't think I was as grown up as I thought I was. Our early lives were shaped by these local leaders and teachers. I remember Aunt Lucy when she was a kindergarten teacher in both Sunday school and primary. Aunt Annie Larson was a fine teacher and later president of the primary, and she gave it her all. Uncle Ram taught the theology class in Sunday school. I waited all my growing up years to be promoted to his class. But by then we were away during the school year, but I learned from him when I was there. Johnny Griffin is remembered. He used to teach a lesson from the manual prepared in church headquarters, and if we sat still and listened, he would read a chapter from a book called The Bishop's Shadow. The title is all I remember of the book. One fall, 2 new families moved into the ward, a rare thing to happen in those days. Alice Calder Tuddenham, mother of one of the families, had just been released from the General Board of the Mutual Improvement Association, the planning and administrative board for the Young People's Organization of the church. She was gifted in music, speech, and imagination. She was soon to be made president of our local association, where she would get hands-on experience with the work. She dreamed up plays and pageants and out-of-door activities with a flair. She had a great impact on my life. One day she came to Verda and I and asked us if we would sing a duet for a program of some kind. I said, but Sister Tuddenham, we can't sing. We can't sing that well. She just looked at us for a moment and in surprise. And then she said, you mean you aren't going to do it? I'll never forget those piercing eyes. And I stammered out, no. And she just gave us a pat and went on her way, and we sang, and it was just as bad as we said it would be. Grandpa Larson was in the bishopric. I have only one memory of that. I suppose he had an early meeting on Sunday morning. At any rate, we always met him coming home as we were going to Sunday school, and always at the same place. I remember his black suit with a gold watch and chain across his vest and his long frock coat. I thought how handsome he was, with his neat beard and moustache and gray hair. I only knew one bishop in all the years of my growing up. M.C. Rigby was appointed before I was born and released a few days before I was married. Ralph Jones, the new bishop, was a couple of years older than I, and when I asked him for a recommend to go to the temple to be married, he told me that it would be the very first one that he made out as a bishop, and his own would be the second. Ted and I were married on Wednesday, and I think he and Eunice Thorpe were married on Thursday. Mama was a counselor to the president of the Relief Society and later a teacher for many years, as was Aunt Caroline. These women and others of the organization spent hours in compassionate service. They buried the dead, they attended the sick, gleaned wheat for storage, clothed those who were in need, and I remember getting up one morning early, finding the stove was cold. Nothing was ready for breakfast. So I went out to chop wood when Mama came walking down the lane. She said Bessie Ballard had had a little baby boy, and Mama had been up there with her all night. Our leaders and teachers were untrained. and many were uneducated, but they were literate and they were devoted to the work they were called to do. They spent countless hours of time from their already busy lives to fulfill their offices and callings and bless the people. The Tubman family was a good example. They had no cars, not many people did. So the horses had to be brought in, harnessed, hitched to the buggy, and driven 2 miles to town at least twice a week, and sometimes after, oftener, when some play or pageant had to be rehearsed. Uncle Joe was a good boys' man and was scoutmaster for years and years. Some were on committees of one kind or another. One committee had charge of Friday night dances in the ward. Here we danced to a live orchestra, always well dressed like the Silver Gray Orchestra from Hiram, who often came over, with coats and trousers of silver gray and caps to match. Mama thought Berta and I should go to those dances, and we didn't care that much, but she insisted, and even after a hard day's work, she walked with us 5 blocks up to the church where the dance was held. But Mama, we protested, we never dance. That's all right, she said. You'll never dance if you stay home. And eventually